Okay, we're right about 5:30, so good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. My name is Dan Koenig. I'm with the Council Bluffs Chamber of Commerce, and thank you again for coming out. We got sunshine tonight. You have lots of choices in your lives. You could have stayed home and enjoyed the sunset, but again, thank you for being here. Before we get started, I first would like to thank our candidates. They take a lot of risk running for public office. They make a lot of sacrifices. They make time commitments. They spend time away from their family. And to find a night that we can get all 9 candidates on one stage, please help me in giving them a warm round of applause and thanks. And thanks for being here. Looking at it, it kind of looks a little bit like the Last Supper. I don't know who's in the middle there, but I would also be remiss if I didn't thank the Iowa School for the Deaf for making these facilities possible. I also want to thank the Chamber's board. If you're a member of the Chamber's board, just raise your hand. And our Public Policy Committee. They helped not only come up with the questions, but they helped shape them, and they'll be commended for that. So if we give those 3 groups a round of applause. If you're a math person, having 9 candidates on the stage, you know how challenging this can be. So we're all going to be put to the test a little bit tonight. I'll be put to the test as a moderator. You'll be put to test as audience. And I know our candidates will greatly adhere to our time limits that we have posed. And so we have several questions that are 1-minute time limits. We have a couple that are 1:30. And our closing comment or our closing question will be 2 minutes. We also have one question that is a 1-word answer. So before we started, and we will let candidates work their own self-introduction either into any question that they want or even at the end. We figured that we would not do long introductions of each candidate just to get more questions in. So before we started, we drew numbers to see who would answer the question first. And Francis, you are our first contestant. How's that sound? I feel like it's Jeopardy here, so my apologies. We're also going to put the question, candidates, you can see the questions on that board, and audience, you can see the question behind them. We also have 2 timekeepers helping us here today. Rita and Peggy are going to hold up signs as we move along to keep ourselves on track. So, Francis, first question. Please describe your management experience. 1 minute.
Okay. Thank you very much for the welcome. My name is Fran Parr, and I'm a candidate here for the Board of Supervisors. And I would like to describe my management experience in 2 ways. One, from a very practical aspect, I am an engineer, a mechanical engineer, and I was a field engineer, which meant I did things out with people, out in the field, and a lot of it was in the power generation industry. So I have worked in a lot of power plants. So I've worked both as an engineer managing these type of projects, and I've worked with crews, craft labor, and I, excuse me, I have very practical experience in that. And then on the second half of that, I did pursue a business degree some years ago, and I do have a lot of experience in managing budgets, so twofold. I have both the practical experience as a field engineer, and I have practical experience from managing budgets.
Francis, thank you. Tom, same question. Please describe your management experience.
Well, thank you. I owned my own business. I was a partner and I had my own business for a number of years. I also then became mayor of Council Bluffs for 25 years. We handled a budget of over $110 million a year. We negotiated contracts with 6 different labor unions. The management department was, we had to be the daily operation of a $100 million business. We also had to deal with elected officials and non-elected people in our business. The management style that I always had was that you hire good people, they do a good job, and you make sure that you continue to support them in their endeavors. We had good opportunities, good luck. We worked hard, and I think we made a difference when I was a manager of City Council Bluffs.
Thank you, Tom. Robert, same question.
Hello, my name is Robert Fairchild. I played for Missouri Valley football. I have led my peers on the football field and off the football field. The last 2 years, I have been given great chance to debate all walks of life the last 2 years. And between my last 2 years and from I graduated high school, I've just been working odd jobs and taking charge of what needs to be done. That's about it for my management experience. So I'm done.
Don, same question. Please describe your management experience.
Good evening. I'm Don Dirks. For the last 29, well, I'm a year now, I've been retired, but for the last 29 and a half years, I worked for the Council Bluffs Health Department. The last 20 years, or 20 and a half years, I was Director of Public Health, and I guess what we did there is I was in charge of solid waste management, animal control, public health nursing, and environmental health. And I guess my management style, I always look back and you're only as good as your weakest link, and I look forward to being a candidate for the Platte County Board of Supervisors.
Thank you, Don. Marcia?
Hi, I'm Marcia Pilger. I almost don't need a mic. My voice carries so far. But irregardless of that, my management skills go way back to the early years. I had my own business, cake business, and I had a few employees there that I managed, and we did extremely well, and then I moved on in my life. I established the Potawatomi County Genealogical Society, managed the development of that organization and the development of their library as well. I'm an entrepreneur in my own business of working for the Quarry Management Company because I took their company out of their home and made it the business that it is today. We do millions of dollars of income every year that we manage, and I do all their commercial leasing as well as the residential leasing. So I have been very active.
Thank you, Scott. Same question. Please describe your management experience.
Good evening. My name is Scott Belt. I have a management degree from the University of Northern Iowa. I owned and operated convenience stores, had about 120 plus employees. You're only as good, in my experience, you're only as good as your employees. So if you don't empower your employees and give them the tools and training that they need, then the success of your organization is not going to be very good. So I really look at the employees for the input on what can make the organization better, and then what tools can we do to help them make the organization more successful.
Thank you, Scott. Glenn?
Hi, I'm Glenn Hurst. I'm a small business owner from Minden, Iowa. I'm a physician, so it's a physician practice that we took over from a small floundering clinic that was open 1/2 day a week to now a full-time clinic, with our satellite clinic actually being in Council Bluffs, which is a little bit odd for some, but it works for us. And we've grown our company in the last year, which has been fantastic, added a new provider, added new employees, and we've really taken medical care a step forward in our community and the community here. I was selected as the chief resident for my medical class when I was in medical school, so I have experience giving people rotten jobs and rotten hours and finding some way to help them be happy about doing it and say thank you later on. I also have experience in the community as past president of the Academic Decathlon Foundation, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for students' scholarships, as well as other county boards.
Lynn?
I'm Lynn Groby, and my life job has been farming, but I do other jobs. I did work for Farm Credit Services at one time during the 80s to help settle some of the debts, and I used to do the mail. I've done quite a few different jobs, but I've always farmed, and I enjoy farming, except this year I don't know for sure. But it's good to see all of you here tonight.
Thank you, Lynn. Justin?
Okay, I'm Justin Schultz, and I guess to describe my management experience, first I'll just start by saying I come from a long line of leadership in my family. I have my grandparents here, actually, here in the front row. My grandfather's been building homes for over 60 years. So I've had good examples in my life. You know, when I turned 17 years old, I was a junior in high school. I decided to raise my right hand and take an oath to protect our country, protect our state and the Constitution. I've stayed in the military. I just recently was promoted to major. I'll be a field grade officer, and I'll be taking command this weekend of Joint Force Headquarters up in Camp Dodge. When it comes to civilian world, you know, I have a bachelor's degree in political science and foreign policy from the University of Iowa. I've worked down at Southwest Iowa Renewable Energy for about 10 years, and within about 6 months of taking a job there, I was put into a management role. And from there, I've worked my way up, and now I'm a regulatory compliance manager, and I oversee some very important programs that keep our people safe and help our farmers. So lastly, I'd just like to say that the highlight of being a manager or being in a management role is being a parent.